Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, and it's time for story time. I'm Sophie, and I have got a bunch of stories today for you that are a little bit spooky. So grab your favorite stuffy or your favorite blankie and get ready for some spooky stories. I'm going to start with my favorite, Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends. And the story I'm going to be reading to you today is called Enter the Deserted House. Enter this deserted house, but please walk softly as you do. Frogs dwell here, and crickets too. Ain't no ceiling, only blue. Jays dwell here, and sunbeams too. Floors are flowers. Take a few. Ferns grow here, and daisies too. Whoosh, swoosh, to-wit, to-woo. Bats dwell here, and hoot owls too. Ha-ha, hee-hee, hoo-hoo. Gnomes dwell here, and goblins too. And my child, I thought you knew. I dwell here, and so do you. There is the spooky, spooky house. Enter this deserted house. Have you ever seen a house on your street or somewhere? Maybe on TV you've seen them. It's a house that nobody lives in anymore. It isn't loved anymore. But sometimes those houses have secrets. Really fun, amazing secrets. It's kind of fun to check them out sometimes, as long as it's safe. Well, how about we say hello? Let's wave. Hello, how are you? Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, hello. How are you? I'm just fine today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, so since it's spooky day, how about if we sneak up behind somebody and go, boo! Sneak right up and say, boo! Sneak right up and say, boo! Sneak right up and say, boo! I'm so glad to see you. Ah! Did you scare somebody? I hope not. Okay, what do we flap our wings like a little bat, like this. Flap your wings like a little bat and flap your wings like a little bat and flap your wings like a little bat. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, now some people are scared of spiders. So can you crawl on the floor like a spider or slither on your belly like a snake? Because some people don't like snakes. Let's do it. Crawl around like a little spider or slither on your tummy like a little snake and crawl around like a little spider. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, now let's make some spooky faces.
Make a spooky face as spooky as you can. Make a spooky face as you can.
Make a spooky face, spooky as you can. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, you guys did a great job. Let's wave hello, shall we? Hello, how are you? Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, hello. How are you? I'm just fine today. Well, let's get started with some shivery tales. Now, first thing, I need to say a big apology to Arnold Lobel. He is the author of the Frog and Toad series, and I think I accidentally called him Eric Lobel on Monday. And the reason for that is because in my Kindle, which is where I have his books, it doesn't tell you who the author is up at the top, and my little brain went boop, 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 and I got Eric instead of Arnold. So I would like to make a big apology to Arnold Lobel because his books are so amazing, and I love his stories. So today I'm going to be reading from Days with Frog and Toad, and this is called Shivers, with illustrations and stories by Arnold Lobel. The night was cold and dark.
Oh, listen to the wind howling in the trees, said Frog.
Oh, what a fine time for a ghost story. Toad moved deeper into his chair. Toad, asked Frog, don't you like to be scared? Don't you like to feel the shivers? I'm not too sure, said Toad. Frog made a fresh pot of tea, and he sat down and began the story. There they are sitting together.
When I was small, said Frog, my mother and father and I went out for a picnic. On the way home, we lost our way. My mother was worried.
We must go home,
she said. We did not want to meet the dark old frog.
Who's that? I asked.
A terrible ghost, said my father. He comes out at night and eats little frog children for supper.
Toad sipped his tea. Frog, he asked, are you making this up?
Maybe yes, and maybe no, said Frog.
So there's Frog and his family walking, and there's Toad listening and getting a little bit shivery.
My mother and father went in search for a path, said Frog. They told me to wait until they came back. I sat under a tree and waited. The woods became dark. I was afraid. Then I saw two huge eyes. It was the dark old frog.
There he is sitting there.
He was standing near me.
Frog, asked Toad, did this really happen?
Maybe it did, and maybe it didn't, said Frog.
Frog went on with the story.
The dark frog pulled a jump rope out of his pocket. I'm not hungry now, said the dark frog. I've eaten too many tasty frog children. But after I jump rope 100 times, I will be hungry again, and then I will eat you.
My goodness, poor Toad looks very scared there. And look, there's the old dark frog. The dark frog tied one end of the rope to a tree.
Turn for me, he shouted.
I turned the rope for the dark frog.
He jumped 20 times. I'm beginning to get hungry, said the dark frog.
Ooh, look at him jumping rope. He jumped 50 times.
I'm getting hungrier, said the dark frog.
He jumped 90 times.
I'm very hungry now, said the dark frog.
Frog, asked Toad, did this really happen?
Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, said Frog.
Frog went on with the story. Oop. The dark frog... Oh, sorry guys. You know what happened? The play just switched on me. The dark frog... Okay. So we got to 90, and he's very hungry now. Toad said, what happened then? Asked Toad.
I had to save my life, said Frog. I ran around and around the tree with the rope, and I tied up the old dark frog. He roared and screamed, and I ran away fast.
Sometimes that's the trouble when you have a Kindle book. The pages switch on you.
I found my mother and father, said Frog. We came safely home.
Frog, asked Toad, was that a true story?
Maybe it was, and maybe it wasn't, said Frog.
Frog and Toad sat close by the fire. They were scared. The teacups shook in their hands. They were having the shivers. It was a good, warm feeling. And that is Shivers from Days with Frog and Toad by Arnold Lobel. Apologies for getting my pages switched there. Sometimes that happens. That's why I have to tell you honestly, love real books, books that you can turn the pages, because you can always hold on to that spot where you are. And sometimes when you've got a virtual one, they switch on you. All right, I have a song for you. This is a song about the MTA, which is how we have BART in San Francisco. Well, the MTA is the train system that goes under Boston. Now, I do apologize if I make any mispronunciations here, because I've never ridden on the Boston MTA. I never have ridden there. So I'm not quite sure of all the spellings and the names and all and the pronunciations, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Now let me tell you a story about a man named Charlie on a tragic, fateful day. He put 10 cents in his pocket, and his wife and family went to ride on the MTA. But did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Charlie handed in his dime at the Kendall Square station. Whoops, let's try that again. Charlie handed in his dime at the Kendall Square station, and the change at Jamaica Plain. When he got there, the conductor said, 5 more cents. Charlie couldn't get off that train. Did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever neath the plates of Boston. He's the man that never returned. All night long, Charlie rides through the tunnel, saying, what will become of me? How can I afford to see my sister in Chelsea or my cousin in Roxbury? But did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Charlie's wife goes down to the Scollay Square station every day at 2:15. Through the open window she hands Charlie a sandwich. The train comes rumbling through. Did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Oh, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever neath the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. Sometimes we're doing scary things, right? Sometimes it's scary for me to sing something or read something that I haven't had a chance to read or sing a lot of. So that was kind of a little bit of a scary one for me, because I haven't done that song in a long time, and I didn't really know it very well when I first learned it. So there you have it. I still like it though. Did he ever return? No, he never returned. I kind of like that. I like the way that goes. Poor Charlie, still riding under the MTA. This is called The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. And this is a fun story because it has some motions. And if you want to join me in the motions, I hope that you will, because it's really fun. This is illustrated by Megan Lloyd with the story by Linda Williams. The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. And there she is. She's awfully cute. The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything by Linda Williams, illustrated by Megan Lloyd. To Charles and to my parents with love and gratitude. Once there was a little old lady who was not afraid of anything. One windy afternoon, the little old lady left her cottage and went for a walk in the forest to collect herbs and spices and nuts and seeds. She walked so long and so far that it started to get dark. There was only a sliver of moon shining through the night. The little old lady started to walk home. Suddenly, she stopped. Right in the middle of the path were two big shoes, and the shoes went clomp, clomp. Well, that's awfully odd, isn't it? A pair of shoes?
Get out of my way, you two big shoes. I'm not afraid of you,
said the little old lady, and on she walked down the path. But behind her, she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp. A little further on, the little old lady stumbled into a pair of pants, and the pants went wiggle, wiggle.
Get out of my way, you pair of pants. I'm not afraid of you,
said the little old lady, and she walked on. But behind her, she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. Farther still, the little old lady bumped into a shirt, and the shirt went shake, shake.
Get out of my way, you silly shirt. I'm not afraid of you,
said the little old lady, and she walked on. But this time a little bit faster. And behind her, she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, one shirt go shake, shake. A little ways on, the little old lady came upon two white gloves and a tall black hat. And the gloves went clap, clap, and the hat went nod, nod.
Get out of my way, you two white gloves and your tall black hat. I'm not afraid of you, she said.
And on she walked, just a little bit faster. But behind her, she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, one shirt go shake, shake, one pair of gloves go clap, clap, one hat go nod, nod. By now the little old lady was walking quite a fast pace. She was very near her cottage when she was startled by a very big, very orange, very scary pumpkin head, and the head went boo, boo. This time the little old lady did not stop to talk. She did not stop at all. She ran! But behind her, she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, one shirt go shake, shake, one pair of gloves go clap, clap, one top hat go nod, nod, and a big pumpkin head go boo, boo! The little old lady did not look back. She ran as fast as she could, and she didn't stop to catch her breath until she was safe inside her cottage and the door was locked. She sat down in her chair by the fire, and she rocked and rocked. It was so quiet in her cottage. And then there was a knock, knock on the door. Should she answer it? Well, she was not afraid of anything, and so she went to the door and she opened it. And do you know what she saw? She saw two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, one shirt go shake, shake, one pair of gloves go clap, clap, one top hat go nod, nod, and a big pumpkin head go boo, boo!
I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady bravely. What do you want anyway?
We've come to scare you.
You can't scare me, said the little old lady.
Then what's to become of us?
The pumpkin head suddenly looked very unhappy. Whoop, get that picture in there for you.
Oh, I have an idea, said the little old lady, and she whispered into the pumpkin's ear.
The pumpkin head nodded, and its face seemed to brighten, and the little old lady said good night, closed the door, and whistled on her way to bed. The next morning, she woke up early, and she went to her window, and she looked out into her garden, and what do you think she saw? She saw two shoes go clump, clump, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, one shirt go shake, shake, one pair of gloves go clap, clap,
One top hat go nod, nod, and a big pumpkin head go boo, boo.
And scare all the crows away. Do you know what he became? That's a scarecrow. And he's out there scaring the crows. Isn't that fun? That's The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything by Linda Williams with illustrations by Megan Lloyd. What I like about that book is although she is not afraid of anything, she does get a little scary, but then she gets her courage back and she faces it, and guess what? She's able to help the thing that scared her. That's right. Well, we're going to sing a song together about something that some people find scary, which is mice. Now, I personally like mice. I think mice are very, very cute, but some people don't. And so we're going to sing a song about 3 blind mice. It goes like this. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice? Let's try that one more time, shall we? 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. Well, it's time for our last story, and this is from A.A. Milne's Now We Are Six, with decorations by Ernest H. Shepard, and this is called Knight-in-Armour. Whenever I am riding, I'm always a knight. I buckle on my armor nice and tight, and then I look about for things like rushing out and rescuings and savings from the dragon's lair and fighting all the dragons there. And sometimes when our fight begins, I think I'll let the dragon win, and then I think perhaps I won't, because they're dragons. And I don't. And that is called Knight-in-Armour. And there's little Christopher Robin putting on his armor. And there's his rocking chair. And there's Pooh and Piglet. Piglet looks very scared, doesn't he? Well, everybody, if you can believe it, it's the end of Storytime already. It's so fast. It went by so quick today. Hopefully, that's the way. If you get shivery and scared, it'll go poof as quickly as Storytime went today. Well, Friday I will be back with some more fun stories and some more fun songs. But in the meantime, let's say goodbye. Goodbye, Ollie. Goodbye, Allie. Goodbye, Eli. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Isabella. Goodbye, Lillian. Goodbye, Gabriella. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Delilah. Goodbye, JC. Goodbye, Madeline. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Helen. Goodbye, Danny. Goodbye, Lily. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Charlotte. Goodbye, Maya. Goodbye, Fred. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Shelby. Goodbye, Francie. Goodbye, Frangelica. I'll see you all next time. Well, goodbye, everybody. I hope that you have a great Wednesday. Stay connected to the people that you love and know that I am thinking about you too. So let's give each other a high five. There's a high five. And there's one for you. And I know personally I need a big hug today. So if you want to join me in a big hug, take one hand, put it on one shoulder, take the other hand, put it on the other shoulder. And this is going to be a big hug, you guys, because I need a big one. You ready? Here we go. Close your eyes and squeeze really, 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 really tight. Ah, thank you for that. I will see you all on Friday. Bye, everybody. Have a good Wednesday.